picture so that it can be a meme.
It would be duck, duck, Liam, duck, duck. I'm thinking of things, but it rips on myself. So I'm not going to say that. And when the mic comes up, you can be like, excuse me, we've got this. You can tell him not to approach the bench.
The bench, yeah.
No, tell him, move your feet, lose your seat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do move your feet, lose your feet.
You gotta talk into these.
Right, okay, here we go. It's up to you. Hey, use the hammer first.
Okay.
That's how you get people's attention.
You can stand up.
Okay.
Say you'd like to call the meeting to order.
I hereby call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time, here he's
Move your feet, lose your seat.
Thanks, Phil. Nice job. Well done.
Sorry that I made you do that.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Let's move on now to resident comments and questions, number 4. Did you get who did the motion? Okay. We'll leave that open for a little bit. Sarge. Deputy Lassard, Carver County Sheriff's Office. Oh, have a seat. Do we need to get wider chairs for your vest?
Evening, Mayor, council members.
Good evening.
Nice to see you this quarter. Any questions on anything that's been going on?
No, I don't have any. Anyone else?
I don't have any questions unless you'd like to just give us some highlights.
Maybe some lowlights?
Well, just, summary, basically, I've been active. In your packet, I met with the Carver Business Group a couple weeks ago, meeting with some citizens tomorrow with Brent. Our night guy is working downtown, checking the open containers outside, checking the parks. People are still frequenting those. Kind of following up on road restrictions right now. Haven't had any violations. We're doing more education. Most of the contractors know, and we talk about what they can and can't do, and talk with Brian about it, and so we haven't had any issues. So,
Okay,
I got nothing.
very
All right.
good.
It is. It's either going really well or we don't know about a thing.
all right, well, thank you.
Either way, you're happy. Nice
Thank
job.
you. Thank you, Deputy
Thanks, Sarge.
Lassard.
We have no public hearings. I'd entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Did you get that? Do you want me to repeat them again? Okay. Actually, I kind of like it. It really irks Cindy. Okay. No unfinished business. Right on to new business. We're flying. Smittix, Oak Tree, final plat. Our city planner, Aaron Smith. Smittix.
Mayor and Council, thank you.
You're
Tonight
welcome.
We will be reviewing a final plat for the development that you have known as Oak Tree. So going back a little bit in the process, it came as a concept plan before the Planning Commission in December 2016, before the City Council, January 2017. Then the preliminary plat and the rezoning, so kind of where the beefy heavy lifting does. Lots get laid out, the plan starts to be more concrete. Came before the Planning Commission on May 18th. They held the required public hearing. It was at City Council September 18th. And recently the final plat was reviewed by the Planning Commission on March 15th. So here we are today, April 2nd.
I like your graphics.
Thank you. Before the City Council for final plat approval.
Finish.
A little bit of detail about the project location. It's highlighted in red on the screen. So for a little bit of bearing, it's just south of the Carver Crossing project, just north of the Carver Square project, west of Jonathan Carver Parkway. So tonight we are reviewing the first phase of the development. So in total tonight we will just be looking at 33 of the villa lots and 30 of the single-family homes. So as you can see on the graphic farthest to the right, the plat of the 63 homes that will be considered tonight have been overlaid over the site, and the orientation has been flipped from your packet just so you can get your bearings a little bit better. So again, 30 single-family homes in the northeast corner and 33 villa lots in the southeast corner. It is anticipated that this project will come under 3 additional phases. So this is phase 1, anticipate 3 additional to come before the City Council for final plat approval for full construction build out. The site does include a large outlet in the center of the project that maintains some sensitive areas. So there's some bluff, wetland area, and some mature trees that the city and the developer found to be important to preserve. And something that I always find to be interesting is some of the landscape buffering that's going to be done along major corridors. So along the bottom of the screen now, there's the significant buffer of plantings along the Jonathan Carver Parkway, so to give some privacy both for the residents and hopefully some noise buffering from Jonathan Carver Parkway.
Thank you.
This is probably what you would consider to be the pretty graphic of the site, so it's what the entire build-out will look like. Again, tonight is just 33 of the villas and 30 single-family homes, but in totality, this is what the project will look like. This is a good visual of what that outlet down the center looks like, so large open space, ponding, mature trees, and a trail corridor. Some additional details with the project. So as you are well aware, the Jonathan Carver Parkway corridor study is underway. Traffic has been a pretty big discussion at both the Planning Commission and City Council level through the entire process. So with that corridor study, it seems like most of the concerns are vetted and staff and the developer are comfortable. In the white graphic farthest to the right, left, depending on how you're looking at it, you can see the gray turn lane that will be added to the Jonathan Carver Parkway, and that will be permitted through Carver County. There's also an assessment agreement with the developer for improvements along Dahlgren Road.
Would you say that part again?
Sure, which one?
The last sentence you said, I couldn't understand you.
Yeah,
Something about Dahlgren.
sure. There's an assessment agreement with the developer in the city for
Thank you.
improvements on Dahlgren
And
Road.
it says it right there. I was so focused.
It's my slides.
Yeah.
There are members from the development team here if you have specific questions about the development. Otherwise, again, the final plat was approved on a 5-0 vote by the Planning Commission at the March 15th meeting, and again, anticipate an additional 3 phases of the final plat. So tonight is phase 1. There will be 3 additional forthcoming. The proposed motion is on the screen, but if you'd like to open it up for discussion, I'm happy to field questions as well as the development team.
I would like to open it up for discussion, so we'll start with the council if there's any questions. You know what, let me rephrase that. Anybody, any of you guys, anything you guys want to add? You guys are, this isn't a negotiation where if you speak first, you lose. All right. I'll open it up to the council. Any questions, comments?
I just had a couple
Please,
of
yeah.
questions, and it's probably for the developers. Are all the trees that are going to be removed for that, are those all gone now? Did that take place with the fall grading last year?
Come on up, yep. Thought you were going to get totally off the hook. This isn't, we're developer friendly, but not that friendly.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Mark Sonskar. I'm one of the land development guys at Cal Atlantic Homes. To answer your question, we have not completed the clearing. That was just part of the site that we cleared. Last fall, we received a partial grading permit for the site just to get going. We have not received the full grading permit. We're working on that right now, so there are more trees to come down.
And then my other question was, I think I read in here that the trail will go in with phase 1. Is that correct?
Yes, our
Okay.
plan is to build that trail this year.
That's it. Anyone else?
When do you plan on building the model?
Model homes, we would like to start as soon as possible. So we'll be working with some language with staff on that in the development agreement. So we do hope to have the villa and one of the single-family models open by the end of the year.
Ready for like a fall parade or anything?
Tight, we'd love to make the fall parade, but
Okay.
that's kind of tight.
Got
But if we can make it, we'll make it, but for sure we want to be open in November, December.
Cool. Anyone else? All right, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 110-18, approving a final plat for Oak Tree.
There's a motion by Councilmember Henry,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember Johnson. Any further discussion, comments, questions? There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Welcome aboard, officially. Now
Thanks, guys.
now we can actually tell you what to do.
Now go play in the mud.
Yeah, appreciate it. Looks good. Let's move on to, you get hired and you just hog the whole 9.2 Carver Square Amendment.
Mayor and council, tonight we will also be reviewing a site plan and an amendment to the Carver Square PCD, so the Planned Commercial Development Ordinance. So tonight, again, site plan, the amendment to the Carver Square PCD is based on the shared parking and shared access for the site. So the language that was proposed with the PCD was pretty vague what the additional users would be for the rest of the site when the dental and daycare went in. So now that the third of the four users have been identified, amendments are required. So jumping back a little bit on the screen, the site that will be developed for the Carver Square Professional Building is highlighted. So just north of that is the dental office, and then tucked behind it to the west is the daycare center. You'll see to the northwest corner, there is still a site that will be open. So the project tonight fills the length along Jonathan Carver Parkway with the Carver Square Professional Building. There's also a graphic of what the building is proposed to look like. So materials include a stone veneer on the bottom, LP board and batten siding, and LP shake siding towards the top. So it fits in nicely with the development that has already occurred on the site. Here is a graphic with, too fast. Sorry. With the site plan laid over the site, so that gives you the three buildings that are existing as well as the open site. This also gives you a good view of that shared parking that will be constructed with this building. So it's tucked behind the Carver Square Professional Building and will be shared by users of the development.
How close is that building to the pond?
I don't know if I know the answer to that one.
Is that the pond right there? Holding pond?
No. I think it's back here.
Into it. Oh, sorry. That is the pond, but they're not filling into that portion of it.
No. It's not that near it. It looks like it's right next to it there, but it's not.
Correct. It is not. So I don't know. I don't think that exactly matches the latest site plan that I've reviewed.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this might be more of a question for Brent, being that you're so new. I know that, well, I'm just saying there's more background and history on this. I don't want me to direct it to her that she doesn't know. Can we address some of the driving issues and the intersection issues that we might have on Dahlgren and Jonathan Carver? I know that with having the dental office and everything there, we've had some concern from residents and people trying to exit on that, and Dahlgren Road right back into County Road 11. So if maybe you can talk a little bit about what those plans are.
Sure. Mayor, Council, the development in stages, they've had to do a traffic impact study, so there's nothing with this development project that's going to require additional improvements to the intersection of Dahlgren and 11 or 6, or excuse me, Dahlgren and Jonathan Carver Parkway. the Jonathan Carver Parkway or County Road 11 corridor study does contemplate future improvements at 11 and Dahlgren, but you're not likely to see anything until 2022 when the county's planning on improving Jonathan Carver Parkway from Dahlgren to 212.
So the corridor study that we're doing addresses the issue, but it doesn't address it in action, it addresses it in plan.
Correct.
Okay, just trying to, let's start making that really evident.
Yep, so there's nothing that is required from the city or the county that's going to require improvements made to that intersection. The issues related to traffic, there's concerns that folks have. There isn't anything additional that's going to be required here because there's sections that are, I don't know if failing's the right word. Andrew, do you want to jump in because you've been a part of some of those discussions?
He's new too.
Yeah, Dahlgren and 6th Street are side stop control right now, so they have stop signs there. The next trigger for any significant improvement would be a traffic signal or a roundabout, and small incremental improvements to this that add a little bit of traffic are never going to get to the point that's going to warrant the need for a signal or a roundabout because of one or two of these buildings at this point. And so that the corridor study is kind of anticipating that it's going to grow and that need is going to be there. But in the near future here until 2022, as Brent mentioned, it's never going to trip that trigger to need a signal or anything like that.
So no turn lanes or anything like that?
Well,
There is a turn
there is already turn
Coming in off
lanes.
of Dahlgren.
Is there one when you go south on 11 coming out, if
Yes.
you were to take a right? There is, okay.
Any others? Please.
So some additional detail as to what the project looks like and the users. The applicant Chuck Cook is here tonight if you have specific questions about the building. He is looking to occupy the northernmost suite, so the one closest to the dental office for a chiropractic clinic. He's mentioned in previous meetings that he's open to other tenants and flexible on the space. So if someone came in and said they wanted to fill 2 of the suites, it could pretty easily be constructed for 2. So as those users are identified, they will come to the city for permitting, but if it's a use that is permitted in our central business district, it won't come before the council again. So this is your chance to look at the site plan and then the amendment. So some of these users might come in just with building permit. So the total building space is just over 6,100 square feet. Again, Mr. Cook will be occupying just 1 suite with 3 at max build out, but flexibility if there's a user for larger space. The other graphic is a view from Jonathan Carver Parkway if you were driving north. So what the building will look like as you're on the highway driving.
Could you go back to the overview slide?
Yeah.
How much is left that's buildable? How much is left in this space that might be able to be built on?
So for the site total,
Well, I'm just looking at, we've got the different ones that are here now. That bottom left-hand corner, is that a buildable section also? It's not?
It's the southwest part
Southwest.
of the site.
Yeah,
No, those are stormwater ponds already.
okay,
And under large transmission lines.
right.
So whoever owns those transmission lines kind of controls the use.
So basically then this is built out at this point?
there is an additional site. So next to the dental office is
Okay.
open. So there's another site that is available.
Okay. Yep. Okay, thanks.
Sure. So the Planning Commission did review the same information at the February 15th meeting, They held the public hearing for the amendment, and both the site plan and the amendment to the PCD were approved on a 5-0 vote. Tonight, there are two motions. So again, the amendment requires its own for the ordinance, and the site plan has its own resolution. Mr. Cook is in the room if you have project-specific questions. Otherwise, I'll open it up for discussion.
Mr. Cook, I just have a quick question. You're taking the northernmost portion, that's the way it looked, right?
Yes.
What's the square footage of that particular?
Like 1350,
1350?
give or take.
Okay.
Right around that.
All right, and are you gonna be the only chiropractor there?
I actually probably won't be there personally.
Okay.
I have an office in Jordan, and it's kind of gonna be a satellite clinic for me, so I'll set up another doctor
Oh, cool.
if everything works out fine.
Sure. Thank you. The question I had for staff is, I hate it. Sorry about the staff. I hate that. But have we talked, I don't know the answer to this, but I just want to make sure that we address it moving forward, is signage in terms of lit signs, or I know Dr. Holder has on his building, but have we talked, and I don't need an answer tonight, I just want to make sure that we're talking about the signage, where we can do and what we can do and how, so we don't get surprised at that 70-foot sign or something. So, all right. So I guess that wasn't a question, it was more a comment. Any other comments, questions?
I have a question. I'm just curious, and maybe you don't know, or maybe you don't have an opinion. What other kind of businesses are you looking for to join it, or to be in that building?
I'm basically open for anything. You know, I have some people interested in it, but at this point, I haven't even got construction costs figured out. I have people working on that right now. I'll have some hard numbers coming up in the next week or two where I can actually present to people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like anybody who wants to be in that area. I know the reason I'm in Carver is, you know, in Jordan, I've been looking at Carver for years, and there's just never been any commercial property ever available that I could ever see. And I'm like, I can't be the only guy who's looking for commercial property in Carver. It's a growing community, and this is a business. And so instead of doing one individual one, I thought it just made more sense to allow other people to come in too. So I don't really have anybody set or any type of business set. I don't think I'm going to do restaurant or a sit-down restaurant type situation. I don't think that's what I want there, but other professional type buildings.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Are you going to be the owner of the building? You're not general in it yourself?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just out of curiosity. Right on?
Possibility. I'm not saying no for sure.
Sure.
Probably not.
That's a process.
That's,
All right. Any other questions? We have a proposed motion. Anyone like to make it?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 05-2018 relating to the amendment to the planned commercial district.
I'll second that.
Motion by Monroe, seconded by Henry. There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next.
I'll make a motion. Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, please.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 111-18, approving the site plan for Carver Square Professional Building.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Mock and seconded by Johnson. Any further discussion? Motion and a second, I should say that first. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Welcome aboard.
Welcome to Carver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of Jordan.
Oh, no. You know what? Stay.
That's where his main dish is.
I'd like you to stay in Jordan and in Carver as well. Yeah. Mayor Velichek does a very, very good job. All right, we are now moving on to City Council communications. Monroe.
I do not have anything.
Johnson.
I don't have anything.
Bach.
I don't have anything.
Hank. Mr. Merrick.
Just one bit, earlier in the work session, we talked about having WSB come out for the corridor study at a work session, but kind of in light of this conversation, and I think it might be better to have them come to a regular meeting. We can get it on video and share that in different formats. I think it's a conversation that is better had more publicly than the work session format does, and
I agree with that, and I think some people have, and I think you've addressed as well as I have actually on Facebook, about the corridor study actually addressing some issues. But if you read those back, it does make it sound like that would be a solution, and it's a suggestion at a solution that won't be implemented until at least 2022. So I think the sooner we get that out there, I agree. Is that it? I'd like to go back to Councilmember Johnson.
I just wanted to say, so last Saturday was the Lions Easter egg hunt, which was hugely successful, and there were a lot of terrific volunteers out there in less than ideal weather conditions. I know that's always a popular event, so thanks to all of them for doing that.
Right on. Anyone else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, Liam. Thanks, bud. Is he de-essing? Yeah. Nothing matters anymore.
Most people usually.
Oh, okay. My strong suit.